Hi everyone, I'm back with a channeled message. So, this is about those of you who really need a thorough cleansing. This 15-day window from the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse is really good for this cleansing because, first, it is the waning phase of the moon, and that is always good for cleansing, letting go, cord cutting, even banishing. All these sort of rituals are very effective during this period, and definitely cleansing. And for those of you who have had a lot of stuck energy in their life, or maybe people are throwing negative energy at you, all of those, ancestral karma, this window is really good. Now, why especially this window? Because eclipses, as such, are very potent. While you shouldn't really do manifestation magic during eclipses because they're very chaotic energy, so it can. I think maybe if you master it, maybe you could be able to do it, but I think it's best even seasoned people stay away from it because there's so much cosmic energy out there that there's really not enough, no matter how much you study the astrology of it. And from my own experience, and I think a lot of others would agree, that astrology isn't always, it does, even if it's Vedic astrology, which many say that it is very accurate for predicting outcomes, right? So even then end up being should I say, anticlimactic, as in they are not as effective. Why? Because at the end of the day we have free will, and it's not just us, our lives involve other people as well, right? So no matter what the prevalent energy is, everyone kind of, we shape our realities, and it's not just us, unfortunately. Other people also get to shape our reality to quite an extent. Doesn't mean you give up your own power, it's just that knowing how to navigate it. And that's why it's best to stay away from doing any eclipses. But they are really good for letting go of the past, moving forward, setting intentions for how you want to steer your life in a certain direction, let go of bad habits, people, jobs, whatever it is, whatever is holding you back from your highest and best version, right? Whatever's holding you back, you move towards that, you make plans, those, that sort of intention, set the intentions during eclipse. Just don't really go on a full on ritual to manifest, but you can, however, do rituals for cleansing, um, cord cutting, and all of that, even banishing as well. Just be clear that you have the right idea on what to banish, because I mean, eclipses can also bring about heightened emotions, because it's a lot of chaotic energy, right? So just because you're angry at someone, just don't go about banishing them. Or even if they have really hurt you or done something that's not okay, don't maybe for those cases, just don't banish, and leave the cord cutting later on. But you can though cleanse yourself, and you can cleanse your energy of the other person's energy, just to get better clarity. That you can do, definitely, even if you hold off on the cord cutting and banishing stuff. But if you know for sure that someone is harming you, someone wishes you ill, all of that, then please do go ahead. It is actually very good. Now, what I will be discussing is a spell for actually breaking curses and hexes. So It's quite powerful. I had done it before, but I also am dealing with a lot of ancestral karma. I mean, I personally speaking, I I'm those people who are, generational curse breakers. I think a lot of people are, but for my family, they come from a long line of shamans. Just this is just to explain why it is important, and they have really bad karma. They have been involved in a lot of dark magic, even you know, inviting entities into their homes, into their bodies. You know, basically, there are a lot of things like I don't want to get into the details, and not sure how much YouTube is okay with it, but I hope you understand what I mean. So that is really dark stuff, and there is obviously going to be karma involved with it, and they've been doing it for generations, thousands of years, right? I'm from India, so yeah, they've been doing it for thousands of years, and obviously the karma has built up to such an extent, and not to mention my ancestors. I mean, it might sound very um, harsh or maybe surprising to some, but I think some can also relate, because that's why I've been called to, you know, put this message out. Like I was like very sick in a way with all this eclipse energy. It's like literally drained me completely, and I couldn't even get up, but I was like, I have to get this message out, I have to get it out. And that's because it's not just for me. I'm sure there are some people who are meant to hear it, and that is, your ancestors might actually attack you or help people in your family attack you. Why? Especially if you're dealing with narcissists in your family. uh, I'll tell you why. It's because they want you to continue that work, continue feeding that entity, right? Even it can happen. It's not like just because they are dead and their ancestors, they have to be of the light. No, there's really, I personally do think that souls themselves also can be of the light and the dark, because some things, I'll leave the details later on, but if you think this is the case, if you think that toxic people in your family, you have done a lot, you have done whatever it can, whatever you need to do. Maybe you have done rituals, maybe you have moved away, maybe you have cut off contact, you have done cord cutting, you have done everything to clear your karma, not just your karma, your ancestral karma. You live a very conscious life. You literally, even the smallest things, you do the right thing, even if it costs you a lot. You just never, stray even in the smallest of ways, and still things, kind of bad things happen. Your health is bad, your finances is bad, opportunities get blocked, or you expect it to happen. Your orientation says, yeah, you're gonna get that promotion, but somehow it just doesn't happen. Or you think you've met the love of your life, and then it falls apart. And even good people, you end up they end up hurting you. uh, I'm not saying people have to be perfect, and even good people can make mistakes, but there's a difference, right? If they mistreat you, even if they're good people, you cannot, just accept them back without them doing their part. And if it is that they are decent people, but somehow they just don't get it, that is because maybe there is some chaos energy playing in between that is interfering. So they don't really realize how they have messed up with you, or maybe by the time they realize, it's like 10 years. So after that, it's really maybe you can forgive, and that's fine. It's really good to be able to forgive and move on, but the relationship just doesn't go back to normal, right? There's no mending that after 10 years, right? So that's the sort of problems. If you've been facing this all your life, and you have very hostile family members, not just one or two, but literally almost everyone, or literally everyone, in that case, you should try this hex breaker ritual, curse breaker ritual that I'm going to explain. But for others who it's not that bad, and you do have loving family, or at least there are some people in your family who are decent, who are nice, who are supportive, even if there's one or two who are bad, if you still have one or two people who are good to you, who are supportive, and you're just dealing with toxic energy otherwise, whether from family elsewhere, but it's not really all out hexes and curses or entities, then you can just do cleansings like salt baths, egg cleanse, all of that. Or even just switch it all up together, like do a egg bath, I mean, sorry, I was going to say egg bath, forgive me. Yeah, so an egg cleanse, start with an egg cleanse, then do a salt bath, then light a black candle on a Saturday, and a white candle, black candle for removing all negative energy, and a white candle for purification. So, all three different things together, that should be strong enough. And this is only when you're dealing with icky energy, like you pick up bad energy, jealous people, jealous energy, or just people throwing even evil eye. All those can be removed with salt baths and egg cleanses and candles and all. If there's something very malicious and very inherently insidious that you've been dealing with for years, decades, longer, then this is going to be helpful. So listen, take notes. I'll just explain the ritual, okay? Whatever, it's actually taken from this. From a deck of cards is pure magic oracle cards, and the card that I'm talking about is songbirds, and it talks about hex breaker, sound healing, final goodbye, and release. So it's already 13 minutes, and so I'll just explain the ritual because honestly I'm very tired, but I knew this had to go out before. So I'll just read the portion that is relevant for the ritual. So here it is, pure magic spell. We can get stuck in sticky energy, and bad luck always seems to follow us. This hex breaker spell will turn away unwanted energy. Perform it on the night of a waning moon. So just for your information, all the days starting from the, like, after the lunar eclipse, which happens on a full moon, so the day after the full moon till the day before the new moon is waning phase of the moon cycle, right? So basically that's the time when the moon wanes. So any day is good enough according to the spell. But if you want to make it extra potent, do it on a Tuesday or a Saturday, because these are good for cleansings, getting rid of negative energy, all of that. But honestly, this one says any day, and since eclipse energy already amps it up, this should be good enough any day within this waning moon period. All right, so I'll continue with the rest of the spell. You will need a black tourmaline crystal, 4 black candles, 4 small onions, and 4 wooden skewers. Open your circle. So I'll read out the instructions for the opening circle. Set the tourmaline in the middle of your altar and place the candles in their holders at the cardinal points of north, east, south, and west. As you light the candles, state your intent 4 times. Alright? I banish all negative energy. I send it away. I am ready to heal starting today. Take the onions in a counterclockwise direction from north to west to south to east. Pierce each one with a wooden skewer. You are piercing the unwanted energy, making it uncomfortable and sending it away from you. So, why it is mentioned is like when you're piercing the onion, just focus your intention on, piercing that negative energy. Feel, feel it, experience it. So that will make it stronger. Place each onion on top of its corresponding black candle to sniff. Sorry, I'm so sorry. The light is low here. To snuff out the flame. Yeah. Um, okay. Next, throw the candles, onions, and skewers in the bin just as you would throw away unwanted rubbish. This action will release your sorrows and you can look forward to a fresh new start. Clap 3 times and imagine a beautiful, protective white light surrounding you. Close your circle and to ground the energy. So, I'll explain the closing circle and the opening circle rituals as well. And so this is what you have to do. I'll also take a picture and share it on my YouTube channel as well as my Instagram, so you can just go over the instructions again yourself. So now let's just look at what you need to do for opening circle. So the instructions for opening circle are: start any ritual or spell with an opening circle practice, often known as the calling of the elements, to add power and protection to your magical workings. Stand and raise your arms, face east and moving in a clockwise direction. Say, I call upon the elements of air, of east, and the wind to bring your powers of clarity and purity. I call upon the elements of fire, of south, and the sun to bring your protection and cleansing. I call upon the elements of water, of west, and the ocean to bring your power, to bring your powers of intuition and compassion. I call upon the element of earth, of north, and the forest to bring your powers of grounding and strength. I call upon spirit to bless this ritual. May it be for the highest good of all, so mote it be. Visualize a powerful circle of light creating a strong border around your magical work. Within the beautiful circle of protection, of protective light, you can perform any ritual or spellcasting safely. When you have finished your magical workings, remember to close the circle to ground the energy. Alright, yeah, so next is closing circle. Just give me a moment. Alright, this is the spell for the closing circle. Finish any ritual or spell work with a closing circle practice to dissipate the energy raised and make sure the elements are clearly recognized and given thanks. The circle of light you built up in the opening circle practice can now be safely deconstructed. Say, I give thanks to Spirit for blessing this ritual. May it be for the highest good of all. Face north and turning in a counterclockwise direction, say, I give thanks to the element of earth, of north, and the forest for bringing your quiet strength. I give thanks to the element of water, of west, and the ocean for bringing your insight. I give thanks to the element of fire, of south, and the sun for bringing your protection. I give thanks to the element of air, of east, and the wind for bringing you clarity. For bringing your clarity, sorry. Farewell. Tend to any candles that have been lit during the course of your spell work and discard any unneeded items. This is a good time to eat and drink something to ground your energy and bring you back to the earthy realm. The universe can now start to work its magic. All right, so this basically you start with the opening circle, then you perform the ritual in the songbird card that I had mentioned for breaking curses and hexes, and then you do the closing circle. I'll still share pictures of the descriptions so that it's easier, and please do not mind the sounds. I've been trying to avoid them. There's been construction going on for the longest time around me, and I was trying to find a good time, but I just couldn't, and I didn't want to delay this reading anymore because I'm recording it in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon for me in India, and so for others it's you'll still have a lot of time, but for even people in India or even in the other part of the world which is ahead of India in terms of the time zones, you'll still have around 7 days to work with this energy and break curses and hexes. So I hope this helps. And for those who don't really need something this strong, because if you don't, this one kind of takes out a lot of energy from you. So honestly, if you don't need it, I think it's fine. But if you do feel called to it, you can do it. If like I'm very extremely this this eclipse has taken out a lot of toll, taken a lot of energy out of me. So if I didn't need it strictly, I wouldn't do it. But if you do feel called to it, do it. If you think, if you're kind of like, do I? It's up to you, really. I'm not gonna, you know best, just but if you do know that you don't really need something like that, if you do know that there's no curse or hex that needs to be, because I don't want people to go around worrying that they have a curse on them or they have someone has hexed them. No, it doesn't, because sometimes we do pick up negative energy even if we maintain spiritual hygiene. The more empathic you are, it is bound to happen. So it's a good time to cleanse, and eclipses are good time even more to let go of the past energies, like things that themselves have how do I put it, sort of put a dent in our soul, like very bad heartbreaks, disappointment, something or the other. It doesn't have to be romantic. In any, like anything you really wanted, really worked hard for, but you didn't get it, that's going to create a heartbreak, right? And that can be very heavy, that can literally take out a lot of you. So it can even hold you back from moving forward in life. Okay, fine, maybe this is something I can do, this didn't happen so I can do this, but somehow you're just so exhausted and tired. That's because you need to cleanse your energy, right? So that is also this eclipse energy would be very good energy to work with, to release anything that holds us back, anything that is our past. We just that that brings us sorrow, that that is traumatic, anything, if it's very traumatic experiences. So I have PTSD because I've gone through a lot of trauma in my life. For decades I have gone through some of the worst things possible. So of course that also, you don't even need to be cursed or hexed that itself can kind of distort your own energy in a way, right? So you can try this in that case if it's very serious. Otherwise, just do a very potent cleansing by trying a lot of different types of cleansing together during this eclipse portal. But yeah, if you do need this, do it. Because, like, for example, I'll just give a very small example again, because my throat hurts right now, and I don't want to elaborate anymore. But for me, even if you haven't gone through any sort of hex and curses, like no one has cursed you or hexed you, and there's just regular trauma, but it's for a long time. Like for me, almost 30 years of abuse, mental, physical, emotional, and there are four types. Look it up, all four types, because the last one I think might not be something YouTube would allow. So all four types I've gone through, and quite severe ones. And um, yeah, there have been days where I had to, like literally gashes, broken bones, things like that. And again, I don't know how much YouTube allows. So all of that, for years, decades, actually. So that can leave a lot of trauma and stuck energy in you, in your body, in your life, in your energetic field. So eclipses are very good time to cleanse them, and this eclipse itself is very very important for these sort of cleansings, right? It's also kind of, I think September 22nd is equinox, I guess, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so it's with the changing of the seasons, so those are very potent energies themselves. On top of that, the solar eclipse is happening, I think on September 21st, right? And September, either September 21 or 22nd, 22 is equinox. So that's a very potent energy. And in India, this 15 days window is also coinciding with a window which we associate with ancestors. So even if you are not from India, even if you are not Hindu, I personally, I was born a Hindu, but I do not uh, associate with it too much. I do pray to a lot of Vedic goddesses, but I also I do incorporate a lot of non-Indian, non-Vedic, non-Hindu practices, and I also pray to a lot of gods and light beings who are not associated with Hinduism or Vedism or any of that. So because if you're an old soul, you really obviously we haven't been born in India all our lifetimes, right? So yeah. But yeah, even if you're not a Hindu, even if you're not from the Indian subcontinent, it doesn't mean that you cannot, because the energy is literally that potent right now. um, and for us, this 15-day window actually coincides, like I mentioned earlier, with a window where you actually pay respects to your ancestors. You do a lot of rituals to help them be liberated, to move towards the light, all of that, and even remove ancestral karma. So, literally, this 15-day window is something Hindus and in the Vedic customs is supposed to be used to remove ancestral karma. So, if you have hexes and curses that have been placed on your ancestry, not just you, maybe it's not been placed directly on you, but it's your ancestry, this is a good time to break it. You're not you don't practice the Vedism, you don't know much about it, that's fine, because the energy is not, it's cosmic, right? For them it's not like we will only focus on India, that doesn't work, right? This cosmic energy will affect everyone in the world. So even if it's maybe just marginally less potent, but it will still be so much more potent than just a normal day in a year, right? So just go ahead and try. Hope this helps. But now I'm gonna log off. I'll do a reading later on, maybe today or maybe tomorrow, just a few cards to see what to expect after cleansing and all that. Just not a eclipse reading, just what to expect, just a good bit of good news to look forward to, if after the cleansing, that sort of thing, right? Okay, I hope this helps. And yeah, if this helps, do leave a comment. That would be very helpful, and that would actually really help me out as well. Give me some sort of hope. I've been quite how do I say it, knocked out by the energy, and things have been hard. So if this helps, that's gonna lift my energy as well, because if you say that it worked, it really worked. And since for me it's very very, like I mentioned towards the beginning of the reading, it's very stuck energy, very potent, very potent in its negativity and malevolence. It might take a bit longer and that might stress me out. I'm human, right? So it might stress me out, but when you come and say, oh, this helped me and I feel so much better, it's going to give me strength. So if it does help, do let me know. I would love to hear that. Yeah, thank you and all the best.